Hello, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are. This is Jamal Kamara, live from the city of Manchester. This is Borderland Liberia, coming to you from the city of Manchester. My name is Jamal. We are based in Europe, and we'll be talking tonight. Today, one of the nights will come out with quite special cases to look at some of the things that made news in Liberia and also across the globe. We'll be looking at Liberian newspapers and as well as what's happening on the international scene. So, if you just joining us or you're watching, they want you to share the show and let others know that we are here to discuss what is shaping our lives as human. Tonight with me is Mr. Yankuba Morris Dole. He's based also in Manchester. Paul Deloche, based in the city of King James, that is called London. Gentlemen, before we tell our audience what's on the menu tonight, welcome to Borderline tonight. Today, the 25th of September 2025.
Yes,
Paul?
Good evening, gentlemen. It's good to be back on the Borderline discussion to have a very interesting discussion tonight. Yes, it's good to be here, and I want to say the Lord Children is happy to be among the living, and it's good to be in paradise. Gentlemen, let's have a discussion tonight.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Glad to be among you guys tonight. We will get to the importance of the turning issues in our country, more especially the lie and the truth that's taking place in Liberia. We'll get to them and make sure that we unveil the fact.
Right. Okay, thank you very much. Before we take a quick break, we'll tell you what we got on the menu from around the world, the international desk, as well as what's happening in Liberia, the updates of what's happening. First, we'll tell you what's happening, the fire in the house of the former President George Weah. We'll be telling you what is the update about that tonight, and as well as the case, the arson case, the capital building arson case is what is all about it today, what the judge is saying, what the Supreme Court is saying about it. What do they think? Where are we with the case? So we want to also update you on that. And I know one well-known billionaire, Nigerian billionaire, Arthur Eze, is back in Liberia, and he's been signed a contract to look after some oil exploration in Liberia. A controversial fellow. We'll tell you more about him tonight. So Paul will take us through, after a quick break, to the international scene and see what we got from around the world. And now we'll take you through to Liberia. Gentlemen, we'll take a quick break. I'll be back. Walk it up. Have a nice ride. We'll take you to our this time we'll bring you our own man, our national anthem, called the Borderland National Anthem, Paul. What is that? That is Tapunje. Always we're celebrating here, so we want to make sure we can get in real. Do I have it right here, Paul? Think Paul, you can help me out. I'm lost here a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I got him.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. Y'all gotta whip us some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people who us, the people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people who are so, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they can lie to us. I said we tired with their lies, we tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with their speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrates us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to be? See, we just tell you that's why we voted you. But you screw us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. people fool us, oh. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. No one to trust. My people, no one to hope on.
Nobody.
My hope that I have been broken.
I'm telling you, brother.
So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric.
People tired, they tired.
You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then stay they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger.
Look at.
Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show.
Nothing.
So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So I said they lie. The people fool us, oh. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. With their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to grieve? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us. You screw us, you use us and little on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So I said they lie.
Once again, say welcome to the Brown Liberia. Jamal Kamara is my name. With my colleagues here discussing pertinent issues that made news around the world as well in Liberia. Tonight, before I move on to tell you what we have on the menu, again to remind you, once again, welcome to all those who join us from the Jala Television in Liberia, also on our Borderline YouTube page, and also on our Facebook links. With Comfort Kamara, welcome. Alan Gue, welcome. And many others that we can call tonight. We say thank you. If it's your first time being on the Borderline, we say welcome. This is a place to be. Please share the show. We want to join Paul Delor to the play to tell us what we got on the international scene. Paul, tell us, what do we have tonight from your international desk?
Oh, good evening, gentlemen. Good evening to our audience. On the international desk, we'll be looking at what is happening in New York, especially the UN. What is going on in the world? The bottom line have been discussing on this program that we had a debate the other day, and from my end, I said United Nations was a useless organization. And what I said then, it have been confirmed by President Ruto of Kenya. So we'll be looking at what's going on in United Nations, that one group of people can decide the future of other people and nothing come out of it. On the international scene, there's a lot of countries now are calling on FIFA to ban Israel from participating in any sporting activities. But now FIFA president, because he's closer to Donald Trump, he does not want to do that. But when it came to Russia, they were able to drop down all of the Olympic, all sporting activity in the world. But when it comes to Israel, nobody dared to stand up to that to ban Israel for taking part in any sporting activity. And when we were growing up our kids, we remember the issue with South Africa. during the apartheid regime, they were banned on all sporting activity. But while it says that the world cannot ban Israel from taking part in any sporting activity, that is unacceptable. So let's go to the UN. The UN have been a useless organization for long. Lately now, African presidents are not talking that the UN need to do more. So on my desk here, the president of Kenya were bold enough to tell the UN delegate that the organization is useless. So I want us to listen to it and let's have a debate on this. It's just a two-minute clip. It's not long.
Claim to be the United Nations while disregarding the voice of 54 nations. It is not possible. Africa is no longer willing to wait on the margins of global governance while decisions about peace, security, and development are made without our understanding, without our perspectives, and without our voice. Africa's exclusion is not only unacceptable, unfair, and grossly unjust, it also undermines the very credibility of the United Nations, this organization. Africa dominates most of the Security Council agenda, provides some of the largest contingents of UN peacekeeping forces, and bears the heaviest costs of instability. Yet we remain the only continent without a permanent seat at the main table where decisions about our destiny are made. Africa deserves, ladies and gentlemen, at the very least, 2 permanent seats with full rights, including the right to veto, and 2 additional non-permanent seats on the United Nations Security Council. The world must understand that reforming the Security Council is not a favor to Africa or to anybody. It is a necessity for the United Nations' own survival. If the United Nations is to remain relevant in this century, it must reflect today's realities, not the post-war power arrangements of 1945. Madam President, despite the stated and evident weaknesses of the United Nations, it still remains humanity's best chance at global solidarity. No other institution has the universal legitimacy or convening power of the UN. From coordinating humanitarian relief in times of war and disaster, to mobilizing the global response to COVID-19, to driving consensus on climate change through the Paris Agreement, the UN has consistently shown that the world can achieve together what no nation can accomplish on its own, however mighty or great or powerful.
Gentlemen, you heard what President Ruto said. This is very,
this is one of the this video, his speech went viral today when he spoke. And think Paul, so do you want to say something or?
Yeah, okay.
You see, Paul, this is the very powerful statement. People will say if this is not happening, some people argue that Africa should stay away. The president should stay away to show that it's, the strength to tell the world that look, what is happening around us, like they mentioned, 54 countries, being part of all issues being discussed is around Africa, and Africa cannot be on the margins of history and widely discussing our issues, and when they also contributing to peacekeeping forces around the world. Like for instance, Kenya is also being involved in peacekeeping force in Haiti, and they are heavily involved in that. Other countries to Africa being involved in. African countries are being involved in UN peacekeeping forces around the world. But one thing we need to understand that this statement of the UN is a very good statement, but the question is, how can we see this happening? Because the African government, the countries, for me, I took some points from him. What we need to do here, gentlemen, is like the President Ruto's statement at the United Nations is a key way Africa can support his call for reform and greater representation, Paul. The only way to do that is that they need unity on Security Council. African nations can present a unified front in demanding a permanent representation, like you mentioned. They cannot be separated. We got 54 countries. You need to come together as as a continent. Not like this is the Sahara, this is Sub-Sahara, this is the Sahel, this is the Northern Bloc. They need to, if they want to have a permanent seat that is demanded, 2 permanent seats with the veto power, they need to take more robust actions. That's one of the they have to consistent messaging across all 54 countries to make sure they are on one page. Yeah, building a coalition with other developing countries, not only Africa. They should also build. That's why I would suggest the other, not only African, the other Eastern European countries, the other countries in the Middle East they should align with them. Should present a case to them so they can support them. So if Africa wants to have 2 permanent seats on the Security Council, as he suggested or demanding, those are things. Africa also need to. For me, I just took some point, Paul. The proposal for Africa permanency with a veto power, a collective and actions UN reform. This can come together, push for a broader UN institutional reform. They need to do a much more UN, like what's happening now. People are coming together to say they want a Palestinian state. America has the veto power. So America will say, no, I don't support that. And when they go and just veto it, the whole argument, the whole proposal is going into thin air. So if Africa has 2 seats on that UN Council, on that seat, on the UN Permanent Council, then they have the chance to outweigh some of those other nations that are coming to veto some proposal being put forward on the floor at the United Nations. So it's a good statement for me. It's a good statement, but we need collective action as a continent to make sure what he said is being implemented. We cannot withdraw. We must push our case. We must present our case, not only with African countries. We also need to get other developing countries supporting our case. And we will present our case to the other countries to know that we have a reason to, with 54 countries, Paul, that's not small countries. And we, like you said, we've been put at the backside. We are the back room. We're in the back room. We are not making decisions. So where we are, so other African countries should not go. African countries should not go be speaking in a very model tone. We've been pushing peace. We've been opening our country to development. We're tired of hearing these sorrowful stories now, Paul. We need more robust, more radical step to make Africa more viable, more vibrant in the face of the world. I mean, in the community of nations.
Jamal, before Pat Dode come in, it was last week. It's not last week. I think the week. I can't remember the exact. They will have this debate here on the borderland, and I raised the issues that the UN was a useless organization.
I was there. I told them it was useless. I said it.
Yes, and this is what I'm saying. Before UN was the League of Nations, there were 2 African countries that were representing Africa there, Liberia and Ethiopia.
But they are not on the permanent. They are on the permanent seat. This is what we're talking about.
Exactly. This is the point I'm making. Say, if they wanted this thing to be equal, to make UN viable, then Liberia or Ethiopia should have that same role. Now, 3 countries in Europe are 3 permanent members: Russia, England, and France.
It has to also do your economic power, and this is what they're looking at. But if you look at country,
wait a minute, they think they say the whole thing UN for peace. It was to bring all of these countries together for peace. It had nothing to do with economic power at the time, because you want to make the organization viable for everybody to benefit in terms of peace. Now, Liberia played a part in the peace process of World War II, even the League of Nations, World War I. So why is it Liberia or Ethiopia were not given that role as an African nation to be the one to represent that nation? Now, Asia get one. China is there. North America got one. So what become of South America and the Middle East, then Africa? So this is why the UN is not structured well, and it should be reformed. That if you want UN to be a better nation, United Nations, then you should have these countries around Middle East. You have one. Africa should have one or two because Africa have more countries than any other. They have two. South America should have one because North America already got a seat there. So that is the point. But it's not there. You get three countries from Europe. Three.
Yeah, you're right.
Why is it 3 from Europe and the rest of the continent they don't have? And these 3 in Europe can veto. Then you get one China from Asia. So the UN, I see the organization until they have seat, Africa have seat, Middle East have seat, South America have seat. Then we know it's a serious organization.
Yeah, like I'll just rename Paul before Mr. Dolly coming. I'll just tell you what the current structure at the United Nations right now. The Security Council is consisted of 15 members of the United Nations. The Republic of China, France, the Soviet Republic, used to be Russia, Soviet, the United Kingdom, Great Britain, North Ireland, Paul.
Yeah, Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland, and the United States of America. Those are the countries that are on the Security Council. They do have the power to veto. So there's no country from the Middle East, no country from Africa, no even country from the Antarctica. So the other continents, they want to have Europe. Yeah, they want to have Europe. That's it. Europe and America. That's it. 2 of them. Yeah. China, yes, China is the Asia. The third one is Asia. So those are the countries that represent on the Security Council, and those are the ones that have the power to veto things. So if America goes with Britain and France, they can go against any voting. So 50 countries. So it's just frustrating. So I don't know why Africa. I hope these conditions Ruto came about with were able to Africans leader will listen and push their case forward and make sure they got a seat on our council, on the Security Council. Mr. Dollar?
Yeah. Thank you very much. I think conversation is now a competition. That I say, if you say so, I say so. This and that. You both of you have said all to be realistic. I will only buttress what Paul Chilope just said. To make it viable to the war, 2 continents need to have a seat: Africa and Middle East. Those people need to have a seat in that team there, at least to be able to defend and protect their security interests. But it's not happening. Why? So it's the time. Everything got time in as well. So the time has come for people to start coming up publicly, like our Kenya president just said. It's a time for people to stand up and come up with their demand and make sure that and stand by it. If the superpowers, the 5 country does not listen, they Africa and Middle East have a right to boycott the United Nations peace or whatever conference and taking place in America or anywhere, and boycott. And more especially the peacekeeping force, boycott, it comes from where? Asia and Africa.
Yeah.
You hear me? You always go take people from Bangladesh that they are producers. Bangladesh, honestly, peacekeeping force that they are producers. And East, I will tell you something, Mr. Kamara, you will not believe it. The Bangladesh, the news that to boost their economy. Each of the peacekeeping officers that they provide to the United Nations, the salary can be divided into half. Half go straight to the government coffin, half go to those that serve it. That's what it does. There where Bangladesh got their economy, money from to feed their country out, to run a government. So basically, those people, why they don't have a say in the United Nations? So it's very, very biased. So I don't think it's necessary. The last thing that I can remember, the last peacekeeping force that took place in Liberia, in my country, the head of the United Nations peacekeeping force was a man from Kenya, General Pani. General Pani was the head of this peacekeeping force. So it's an open secret. So these are hypocrisies, and I think the Western is supposed to look into it, and the African need to stand friendly to do it. That's what I can say.
Okay, Paul, why you before you go forward on this UN stuff, I will tell you some conditions they've had why how you become member of the Security Council. Economic power, a large GDP, your gross domestic product should be big, significant global trade. You should be able to have a big market, big face. So those are the conditions to set up. Then to come up with military capacity, defense spending, peacekeeping contributions. So when you talk about Africa, we also contribute, like Mr. Dollar just said. Africa has been involved in supporting peacekeeping. Now we just talk about Haiti. Kenya sent troops to Haiti. Liberia sent troops to Mali. Other African countries as well have been sending troops to other countries. Then talk about now what the issue is now regional representation. So the only country that's actually unrepresented at the United Nations is Latin America and Africa. Latin America and Africa are unrepresented at the Security Council. So we got global influence. That's what they use. What do you mean? Diplomatic reach. You should also have international organization membership, UN contribution.
How about Middle East? Middle East. Middle East is not represented.
Yeah, Middle East also underrepresented. You're right. Middle East as well. They also got United Nations contribution, financial contribution, peace troops.
Yeah.
You should be able to pull money up front to support the peacekeeping troop. Not only providing the boots on the ground.
Yeah.
You should also give the money. So those are conditions. But you think if Africa comes together as a continent to put funds together, they cannot provide money. They cannot provide a bigger trade. So the argument of we are using here, Paul, I think it is time Mr. President Ruto's statement should be taken into consideration. You should have collective force. You should present a case to the world and get all the developing countries like Latin America as well should also have a seat. Middle East as well should have a seat into the, but like if you look at Middle East, look at Asia. So if you look at Asia, China is there. So that's why they're not considering it to be Middle East, not a continent, it's on Asia. So therefore, this is why they're not considering to be, but when you look at the continent, Africa, Latin America, those are two continents that are underrepresented at the United Nations Security Council. So Ruto's statement is good, but let's see what happens, Pop. So my fear is it may not go farther than this because Ruto made a very good statement. My political statement, very good, strong, powerful, but will they be able to take the radical step to work together collectively to present that case to win the seat, those two permanent seats at the Security Council of the United Nations? That's the question. Because African, you know what happened? I'll take you back to Mr. Dolaku. You go remind us, you've been around more than most of us here. When the AU, the United States of Africa, came back way back, got a Morovia group, they got the Morovia group and one group again. Another group, I think there are two groups that split about the United States of Africa. I think a Morocco group and Morovia group, two groups were there when they went to meet in Sanekole, talk about the formation of African organization.
It was the Morovia group that was meaning behind it.
Yeah.
Behind the split.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other,
it was the Morovia group. They didn't
which was spearheaded by late President William R. Tubman and William V.S. Tubman. He was spread, according to history, he spearheaded he was in the Morovia group that were talking about every country should govern themselves. You should come together as in, you should have an august body called the OAU, Organization of African Unity, instead of having one continent one country, one continent with one government, one currency, and one rule of laws. So this issue, Paul and Mr. Dollar, I think the statement, let's see what happened. I think statement being made like this at the United Nations, we have not been very public. Most of us are coming to understand that Africa has been underrepresented at the United Nations. Will the other African leaders have the guts to help push this case forward? That's the question, Paul.
It's a $1 million question, and you know, and I know that we get a lot of countries in Africa that are puppets to the Westerners. So that $1 million question unless look, Africa have a way that they can unite in a way that they will be, the West will force them to give them that seat. One thing they could do, but they will not do it. They think
But,
the
why,
West.
why do you think why would be the case? Is it not because of personal interest? This is the case.
They succumb to their colonial master to start with. They yes sir to their colonial master for some reason that they think they cannot do things on their own. It's just few countries in Africa that will say, no, hell no, we can't go by what these people are doing. But I will give an example. Like my country, Liberia, that is so reliant on aid from America. Under no condition that they will stand with Ruta and others say, oh, they will block it. They will be used. These are the puppets that we're talking about. You see? So now, why am I saying that Africa could do something that the West will really bring them to the table? They talk about you have to have military force. You have to have economic power. Based on our natural resources, these people get rich. So what you do? Send the thing that when we get it, if Africa unite, we shouldn't give these people something for 1 year. Let's see if they bring us to the table. But are we bold enough to do it?
Yeah.
You know, go on, Mr. Dolly.
Yeah, gentlemen, any given situation, you look at the criteria that constitute the act. One of the weakness the Africa have is technology. We don't have the technologies to activate our own things. We always rely on the West for even common bicycle. The African, let me just say 70% of the African country relying on the Western world to get even bicycle into their country. So if we can really take 10 years, the African nation, the African continent can take 10 years to focus on technology like what China did to graduate from that poverty. China was more poor. We're having more poverty line more than Africa. Our GDP was higher than the China 30 years, 40 years ago. But what happened today? They are the second richest country in the world because of technology. So if the African continent can focus on the technology, at least 10 breaking years to focus on that, to be able to manufacture things for themselves. The gun you're talking about, we can able to do it. The cars, we can able to do it. Plane, we can able to make up the things that we will be recognized, fully recognized. The natural resource you talking about, Mr. Clepley, if we say, okay, the West is not coming to, because we have the natural resources like a country like Niger and Burkina Faso and Liberia, they got real natural resources. We say, okay, look here, we got a natural, like Zaire, things that they're facing today, the computers, the mobile things, then the element that we put in this thing there, it comes from Zaire. So if we say, okay, we have this thing that you're the West need it, so we're not giving it to you. What's the use to us? We know how to manifest it.
Oh, they use for it, and now what let me give the use. They use for it, and if they face that product, they sell it to you, they get money. But if for 1 year,
if we can able to face the thing,
but wait a minute, and say what they use for it, they're the one can use our material to build weapons. So if they're not getting that material to build weapons,
yeah, they have the technology. They have the technology. Let's fight and get
this is the point I'm making, Padole. They want your raw material to look good. So if you say, okay, only 1 year, you're getting no raw material from us. 1 year, all African countries, 1 year. Let's force the people to make a permanent member of the UN. That's what the OAU is for. What they use.
I do agree. We can employ these kind of strategies, but what I'm looking at, if we seize off all this equipment, all the natural resources, we say in fact, nobody like what Niger did to France. and tell the military to leave, and tell the French embassy to close up and leave, tell America to leave. You got there something there. If Russia were not there to go and buy it from there, you're going to remain a waste product to them. Because
Okay, Mr. Dodd, yeah,
and
you said we should train in technology. The thing I made it, but listen what I'm saying. The thing I made it technology that is more train in technology, that they get the technical know-how. So you get a technical know-how, but the material that you need, you can't get it. So we said, Paul, you get a technical know-how, you can go further. So this is the win-win situation. You're not going to go anywhere. We're not going to go anywhere. So,
no,
but
one of the best, Mr. Kamara, 1 minute, I beg you. One of the best things, to me, one of the best things that we can do as an African continent. We say, look here, you want social items from our country, from our continent. Instead of taking the raw products from here and carry, make sure you come and do everything.
No, Padre, it's not about that. They think about permanent member of the United Nations.
Before you get before you're
do this. No, we capable of doing it.
You must have this strength.
But we're capable of doing it. In Nigeria, South Africa, they're doing things. You talk about soccer, people developing things around. Not because we come from a useless Burkina Faso. Do you know that they building electric cars in Burkina Faso by Burkinabe? I'm telling you about Burkinabe building electric cars. There's a guy that came from I think Mozambique that got killed recently.
No, in Zimbabwe, there was a guy, the Jackie.
That's Zimbabwe, the guy who came out with.
So they killed him.
All right. So Africans have the technology to do it, but the fact is that
but where they got the software from? The software.
There's useless continent called Africa that don't stand by itself. That Africa will generate their revenue and give it to France to keep it. These are the useless people I'm talking about. These are the paupers. Jamaica,
okay.
Good.
Fine. It's good always to discuss this. The thing that we're missing visionary leaders like before the OU came to existence in May 25th, 1963. We got great leaders like Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, Ahmed Ben Salah of Algeria. We also got Gamal Abdel Nasser of Egypt. Those were the visionaries that brought the idea of OAU today, and they were the group that led by the. No. Secretary came in later. He came in later. I'm talking about the great people that brought the idea of the OAU. It was Kwame Nkrumah, Ahmed Ben Salah of Algeria, and also Gamal Abdel Nasser of Egypt.
The Pan-African nation.
The Pan-African. They were then the Casablanca group I was trying to talk about were led by Kwame Nkrumah, who was taking a more radical step to federation. The Federation of Africa, the continent should be federation like our US looking like. Where we have Morovia Group was led by William V.S. Todman, the Liberian president called Morovia Group, that wanted a more of a sovereign country, a more peaceful corporate and economic integration, and you have your own sovereign country you should run in. And now these are the people we made today. Like all we're speaking about today, the leaders we have in Africa, the leaders are not. I don't know what to put them. Like we are not. They are not. They don't have their own minds. We got great. Let me tell you, talking about economy, talking about technology. Let's take an example. When I was at the university, when I came to UK to go to university. No, sorry, I was in Holland. When I was in Holland going to the university, every year, Rwanda sent about 600 students outside. 600 students to go learn things that will be very useful. Health, IT, those are the things they're learning. And now they went back home. In Africa, in that part of Africa, Rwanda is one of the hub of IT in our whole region. They invested in their people. Rwanda has done that. Rwanda built that. This is why they keep voting in this guy in every year to make him the president of that country. Every year, Rwanda send. If you send 600 Liberians out every year to go learn specific courses, I don't care. Let 300 stay. At least 200 come back home. We still have brains. They will still go home. You are investing into brains. You're investing into ideas. You're building up your resources, your human resources. And Mr. Dolly, we're talking about we don't have the software, we don't have technology. Chinese are coming everywhere to go to all the universities in Europe, everywhere in America. Chinese go to every university outside. If you are today, Chinese are going back to China to look after their country.
Yes.
Yeah, what do we do? That's what I'm saying. They will not close their doors to you because listen, Mr. Dolly, the European and American university want your students because the government will contribute about £10,000 to a student, international student, to support them in our university.
Yeah.
So if you send your student from your country to go and learn that idea, they won't stop that because you bring money to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening everywhere. So we need to invest into our population. I want to invest into human resources. We're not doing that. We're keeping the money. I don't know how we phone the money into our personal funds instead of building the resources. And this is why the country is going back. This is why we don't have anything to depend on. We depend on the West for everything.
So,
Yeah,
Jamal,
information.
hold on. Before your point of information, Jamal, the issue you raised about the students that are going across, do you know?
Yeah.
I'll give you an example on this. When I left to travel to the USSR, the USSR gave Liberian government 260 scholarship free. Liberian government decided not to take upon the offer. They only sent 16 students.
Yeah, they said they want to be socialist.
Yes.
That's what they fear they are.
If you don't have leaders with that 260 students coming back, you know what they're coming with?
With skills.
And this thing now, every year, those 200 students will go to the USSR. Then you have Czech Republic, you have Bulgaria, all of these places.
Romania as well.
Romania as well. The government of Liberia refused because they want to be behind their slave master.
They want Liberians to go to the US to go study.
And
America is not offering you scholarship.
Exactly. That's the point.
Yeah, let me explain something to you.
Go on.
Jimmy said that the Chinese go to every Western country for study and go back to China. One of the guarantees that they have that make the student then come to West and learn and go immediately back to serve their country is there's a collateral. The governments have a business collaterals with the student, and we don't have that.
We can do the same, Sadole.
Yeah. Listen, what I'm trying to tell you, sir. Government will tell the student they will visit every school to look for the brilliant students in different institutions and things there to be sent to abroad for further study. But the guarantee is your families will be the collaterals in China. We will tell you, you go into line, we will sponsor you. Even the food that you're eating there, you're sick, we medicate you. You're feeding, you're lodging, we will pay for everything. But the knowledge that you're going to learn, you need to come back to serve your country. If you refuse, your parents will bear the consequences. You sign that paper, the hard the Chinese then will come in and go back. So can we do that in Africa?
Okay, Mr. Dollar. Mr. Dollar, you don't have to. Mr. Dollar.
200 scholarships.
Paul just said
Liberia every year, and the Liberian government refused. It had nothing to do with corruption. Free.
Yeah, no, I do agree. But you're the country that you go. You have to come back.
Mr. Dollar.
Yeah.
Let's agree that the government of Liberia is sending out about 600 students out there to go learn specific skills. 600. Let's agree that 200 will stay come back. I don't know if some will stay. Don't agree because I don't care what you do, because I don't care what those people that are coming back, they still bringing something back home. Don't forget about let's leave them. They'll still go home because you know what looking for an enabling environment where why they stay back, because they're going home, they're not going to get a job they want to go on. They will study. You're not creating an environment for them to go back home to fit in. What is it today as we speak, this weekend, they have the National Diaspora Conference. What all about? Diaspora Liberians outside asking, create an environment for us, Liberian, to go home. Some of us, we don't want government job. Create a business environment that some of us can go back and do business. Some of us can go back in security. Many other things. Some want to go back as retired people. So you know what? You carry back home. You carry back skills. You're carrying back job opportunity for people. Yeah, those are the things you're carrying back, and you're going back to your home country. So the government
Yeah.
need to invest into their citizens. Whether it's collateral, Chinese are the way to treat the people different. Paul just said to you, 200 scholarships were given to Liberia, and they turned it down in 2016 for the fear that they would turn to socialists, radicals, whatever they think. They had a choice to go back, and that so on they refused them. So you don't have. We used to go to Romania. We go to other countries that are even they were to train us. So those are the agreement between other countries and Liberia, and we turn it down. We want to go to the great United States of America, and they're not accepting us. So go to Liberia today. Bulk of our people in Liberia right now that are running most of our very IT institutions are foreigners. RT
Absolutely.
institutions are foreigners. RT companies are foreigners. It's very hard for you to have skilled RT person. They are in demand. RT person who did IT, they are in demand in Liberia. You know why? So they're not also being paid. This is why I go to Liberia right now. There's any school of IT special school built. Government should work in there because that is where the future is. Now we all look at artificial intelligence right now. I mean, the government will say we don't have money, but start building on that right now. Have institutions, Chinese country, other people, they will come into your country. The disadvantages are there that they may not go back, they'll stay in, but you also look at the how do you call it, the good side of it, the advantages. They bring in skill to your country. What we did years back when we were in Liberia, when Joe built when the SKD student was built, SKD was built, the student was built. That technology was staying there to the scoreboard, been changing numbers. We were not used to Chinese had that years back. Those things were just flipping your scoreboard, just automatic. Those were IT programs years back in China. And China has been sending their citizens out to learn long time ago. When I was in Holland, I got more than 20 Chinese students with me. They can't even speak good English, but they were learning it for themselves. They sent them out to go learn. They went back home. And they only have each of them at a time. They have the one-child policy in our country. And you can born as many as you want. If you send out of the 5 children, you know, who say, I know you got 7. If you send 3 out.
Yeah. And Jema, to add on it, the Chinese took advantage because they were communists. They took advantage of where it started from. In every town and city in the USSR, thousands of Chinese were in the USSR learning. Today, that's why you see China and Russia today, they're like this, because they know what the Russians did for them. But we decided, back in the days, if you don't send your child to Germany or America, Liberia now.
England.
No, America first. America was out of date. America.
England was far from it. It was usually America, Germany. But the Eastern Bloc were offering free scholarship. Liberia refused. And Guineans were taking advantage of that.
They went to Russia. Most of the Guinean doctors, Serena doctors are Russians. Serena Guinea doctors are Russian, yeah. They learn in Russia.
The current president today, the current president of Ghana, he studied in Russia.
John Mahama.
Yeah, they took advantage, but we Liberians say, that socialist state will go in America. How many people want America? If you lucky to get somebody one little scholarship to go to Harvard or big thing to do some diplomatic.
He's a Harvard graduate. And you want the highest job in Liberia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys. Now, if you just joined us this morning, Liberia, we're just discussing some international issues. We're looking at what's happening. William Ruto, Kenya president's speech at the United Nations, he calling for African leaders, the African representation at the Security Council. They want 2 seats to be Africa. So the question is, will this be possible? We're also speaking about the African government unity. How do they solidify their position to fight for their seat at the Security Council? And we think, we also believe, and also generally believe that Africa, Latin America and Africa are underrepresented for regional representation of the United Nations Security Council. So that's a discussion tonight with us at Barreline. So, Paul, anything else on the international menu?
Can we
Oh,
transition?
there's so many things. You know, the former French president Sarkozy was sent. I mean, accused of corruption, taking money from Gaddafi for his campaign. And today they court found him guilty. He'll be sentenced to prison for 5 years, but he said he couldn't appeal against that. That they're trying to wish on him. Then, so there's so many things that happen internationally, and
All right.
all of news that Turkey President Andrea met with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump now is asking Turkey to stop buying Russia oil. So the pressure now, this is what is happening, that they must start buying Russian oil. But Europe cannot stop, because what happened when Europe stopped the natural gas? America wants Europe to buy the oil from them. We should be more expensive. Now Zelensky and President Trump met that, okay, we'll sell the arms to you. But this guy, he won a Nobel Peace Prize. He said he's the peace man, but he want to sell arms for the war to continue.
Who won the Nobel Peace Prize?
President Trump want to
You want to win? Okay.
Yeah, but so he's the president of peace, and the president of peace cannot allow the war to stop in Gaza. The president of peace is selling arms to Ukraine for the war to continue in Ukraine. So how would a guy win a Nobel Peace Prize? And he's going to be the peacemaker of the world. So this is where we are. So guys, let's move on to Liberia.
All right, then fine. Wants to say welcome wherever you join us from. Welcome to the Borderland Liberia, live from Milan, Europe. We bringing you what's happening around the world. We want to take a quick break, bring back to what's happening in Liberia. We're looking at the fire in the house of the president, the former president George Weah, and also be looking at his the case of those accused of arson attack of the Capitol building. Will be also giving you some information on that. The case, what far is the case, and also we'll be looking at, Liberia has also just discovered oil. So there's a guy who also bought it from us. He's back, a Nigerian billionaire. He signed a contract to take on to exploit the oil for us in Liberia. That's the three main things we'll be looking at after the short break. Want to introduce to you a young Liberian artist, and we'll come back to you and take you through to Liberia.
Clappy ENT, baby. Give me that. To my baby. Boy, give me that. We get Swagger, we get Dresser, we get Scooby-Doo. We get Casabonne like Jackie Foam. We get Palopo, we get Slickman, we get BBQ. If you say you grown up, I say I grown up too. Boy, anything like open while I flag and die inside. So Jebby there, you Jebby talking plenty. If you feel not enough, then you want photocopy. Boy, you and your grown up man, it can make me scary. Lying for ya, boy, lying for ya. If you feel you more than me, then lying for ya. Lying for ya, boy, lying for ya. If you feel you too much crony, lying for ya. Lying for ya, boy, lying for ya. If you feel you more than me, then lying for ya. Lying for ya, boy, lying for ya. If you feel you too much crony, lying for ya. When Grona me see Grona make it hard. Look at Johnny Picking, one can issue on my fly. You're the tell us some back into my myself. Let them know they real casa on the block. Because you get to go, you will see them all around you just to eat your suso. You see tell like Camo play, you tell like Lulu. Even if your phone not on, they blowing fire for you. Kawa, I'm making you so lazy. I love my love, and get no Oma and Pape. Boy, anything like open while I flag and die inside. So Jebby there, you Jebby talking plenty. If you feel not enough, then you want photocopy. Boy, you and your grown up man, it can make me scary. Lying for ya, boy, lying for ya. If you feel you more than me, then lying for ya. Lying for ya, boy, lying for ya. If you feel you too much crony, lying for ya. Lying for ya, boy, lying for ya. If you feel you more than me, then lying for ya. Lying for ya, boy, lying for ya. If you feel you too much crony, lying for ya. boy, give me that, give me that.
Once again, welcome back to the Borderland Liberia. Paul, that info, yeah? Thomas, baby. Hey, you're a Liberian artist. And what do you mean by that? But that info, yeah? You see, what it means, it's a parable in Liberia. Said that is that info, yeah? What it means, Paul? Explain to Mr. Dolly. What does it mean,
Well,
that
the
info,
thing
yeah?
is,
I
the
don't know.
story, the story went around that this guy used to say he could play football, but then
Fire.
the only play Fire could play football at Info.
So fire is a name from all fire come from Lofa County. It's a Kisime, right?
You see me, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
if
we normally say if you tamarame, Akuya. We always say that. So basically, the music is linking to that or what? Tamarame,
I think
Tamarame.
what Paul is trying to explain to us.
Yeah,
Paul, go on.
Go on.
When you this guy wanted Morofia say he could play football, and when you wait, my man can't play say, but I play football in Foya. That only in Foya you can play football.
All right, that info. So it's in a way saying that if you think you're a man, that info you can't try ourselves. You say anyway. That was Thomas Baby, a young Liberian artist coming up. So I think Liberians, the Liberians are doing recently. They've been doing very good with music and comedy as well, movies, and I think they're doing great right now. We need to really be showcasing their products out there. If you're also a Liberian or DJs around the world that are really producing Liberian music, so thank you, hat off to you, doing well. And those who happen to produce Liberian artists, I mean, go on, keep doing that. We want to sell Liberian product out there, our custom traditions. I want to push Liberian culture out there. So a big hat off to all the DJs, the producer, the sponsors, to a Liberian artists. Thank you very much for helping them. Now, what we got on Liberia tonight, we'll be talking about, it's a case. Now, the first news is not enough to suppress evidence. This is a New Dawn newspaper. This is a story about the, if you see those in the orange jump suits, the prison, I mean, it's a well-known prison clothes attire in Liberia. I think in the US as well is also very common in Liberia. We got those, you can see here, if you're just seeing them, is those on the screen right now are those being jailed. They did not bail. They were accused of arson attack on the Capitol building in Monrovia, and they were in court recently. And we also yesterday we talked about they were being abused, tortured in prison. And now today's story says not enough to suppress the evidence. So I have Paul with me tonight, and Mr. Dollar. Do we tell us, Paul, what does this news for Hela means? Gentlemen, Paul or Mr. Dollar, anyone can come first.
Yeah, basically we expect this kind of kangaroo activities going on because based on, one of the information I got concerned about the decision from the judge giving the gavel to the jurors to make a decision on the people case. One of the sheriff from the criminal could be fellow by the name of, I just forgot his name, Smith, something like that. So he visited, according to the intelligence information we collected, that he visited the judge resident in this place, Ghana's base, behind New Georgia area there, where the judge live. So they made some negotiation, and this arrangement was seriously orchestrated by the Solicitor General (SG) of Liberia to lobby with the judge to make sure that to turn the decision over to the juries to make a decision on this case, whereby they have already started arranging the juries and giving them some blank envelope. And the jury that the judge is saying that he's going to be turning the case over, the jury have not been collected yet and sent to honor ground. Because once you put in the jurors together, they always remain on the ground. They feed them there, they don't go nowhere. That have not yet been done. Then you give the decision. for the jury. And Liberian jury system always like this. A group of people have been selected from case to case, from case to case. These are the same jurors will be looking to the people case. It doesn't mean that they say when they having case A, another group of jurors will come, or case B, another group of jurors will come. It's not like that. They have a selected people who always be serving as a jury. So it's very easy to manipulate the jury. So I can see the fate of this tyranny. That's what I can say.
All right.
But
Thank
negotiations
you.
have already been made on a cover to nail them.
Right. Paul, thank you, Mr. Dolly. Paul, the I got some information here. On February 25th, 2025, the Moreover City Court determined that there's a sufficient evidence, to proceed a trial with with the magistrate Ben Bako, who ruled that the prosecution established a pre-facie case. That is the former speaker, J. Fonati Kofa, who is now on bail with others should be tried because they are being charged with, say, facilitation and other criminal activities that are involved in the formally charged. So now, Paul explained to those who just say joining us now, and you see the screen say, now we see the cases say not enough to suppress evidence. They said, does it mean that the evidence provided by the lawyers of these alleged arsonists is not enough?
No, the thing here is the same criminal code A. Last week there was the case where these accused victims here that in a yellow have been
Orange
the orange suit claimed that they were tortured. So the case they sent them to a renowned clinic to find out, and the evidence came out, yes, they were tortured. So based on that evidence that they were tortured, and the court accepted that report that these people were tortured. So their lawyers now were asking them to drop the case. And now the judge is saying that is not enough evidence. So based on torture, it was
the case should be dismissed, right? The case should be thrown out of court.
Yeah, but this judge is saying no, it's not enough evidence. So I don't know what enough evidence that they want on this case, because we were told by the police director that they had a geo satellite that were going to collect all of the moving parts, and they failed to submit that. And these people saying that they were tortured under duress. So the case should be, so the lawyers are saying you throw the case out because it's not, but this judge is saying no, it's not enough evidence. So what enough evidence that they will have if somebody been tortured, then forced to lie, and you want a case to go on what ground? So
Yeah.
this is what it's heading.
Yeah, you see, these are some of the reasons why the judge have taken the decision to forward the case to the juries, for the jury to take the final decision on this case, because he want to be exonerate himself from the decision making to say whether people should be set free or not. So he want to put the burden on the jury, and knowing fully well that jury have already been compromised. Negotiation have already been done with this jury. So when these people case is last in the hand of those jury, the jury will definitely find this guy then guilty. So these are the strategy. They see judge couple months ago, he came out that some unknown people were threatening his life. They went to your house in the night to threaten life. So, but that case went down like that. They didn't follow up the case to come over the integrations of the issue to establish the fact who was those people, how it happened. He just came on the surface like that. So the judge is making the decision to send the case to the jury, so the children then can be sentenced, and he should not be believed.
All
on the
right.
sentencing of these people.
So what I understand from you, gentlemen, is this: despite the serious allegation of the medical evidence, the criminal code A, yeah, has denied the defense motion to suppress key evidence in the ongoing capital arson trial. So that means that despite all those medical reports saying that these people were tampered with, they intimidated, were tortured to extract confession out of them, and the medical report is there. It's strong evidence. But the judge is saying, still saying it's not enough. So
Yeah,
it
that's what
doesn't mean that this case has some political context or what.
Yeah, definitely, you know that. From onset of this case, he had been political on a tune because the starting of this investigation from the police standoff to Syria. The police, first of all, they were buyer in this case here. They started it on a wrong footing.
You see, yeah, go on, Mr. Dolly.
Yeah.
This is why I want to see human rights lawyers coming out to say, not the time we're talking about drugs or something. You know, when I talk about human rights lawyers, activists, should be speaking about people who got all evidence, all proof, medical reports that these defendants, arson trial defendants, were tortured, and there's all strong medical evidence that these people have been tampered with to extract confession from them. Then you stay saying that to us, that it's not enough to suppress the evidence.
Yeah.
So that means the evidence the previously presented, but the government presented against the people. So they should stay. They deny them. The trial continue.
Yeah, Jimmy, let me tell you something. They like human rights lawyer business here. I can't understand. There was a guy who was a famous Liberian lawyer doing child killer administration. They used to call him Sano, Benedict Sano. He became justice minister in early administration. He was a human rights lawyer. When I was director at the port, when Chatila became president, the managing director at the port that time said that anytime she see me, her heart can be beating, so she can be scared. So she don't want to see me there.
Why is that? What was the reason?
I don't know for whatever reason. So they fired me. For no reason, absolutely. I was the director for investigations at the time in the port. So I took the case to this place, the labor ministry. The labor ministry said they were looking to the matter. I went to this place, human rights. I went to that Sano guy. He was
Benedict Sano, yeah.
Benedict Sano. I went to him. Benedict Sano said, "My friend, let me tell you something. This is a case have to do with some army charter. I'm not going to be part of it." And that was a full stop. And he was a human rights lawyer that everybody could look into that time.
Okay.
So the human rights business you're talking about here, I don't think they can do anything when the government in favor of certain things in Liberia. I don't think I'm any other place in Liberia.
Right. Okay, guys, thank you very much. I think Paul, any comment on this? Then we'll move to another news headline.
You know, Jamal, there are some cases it may end up breaking this government if they're not careful with this. Because from the offset, when the president, the fire, the building was still in flame when he came out to say that hooligans that burned that place. So the government decided to go after CDC people. All of these people, they are linked with CDC.
Yes.
So if you're looking at it, and with all of these torture and the judge is telling us there's not sufficient evidence, but the police that did the investigation can't even provide concrete evidence as well, but they still want to go with this case. This could be the situation that people that fanatical fight, this is where they have to use the money they have. And I want to take this back. This is typical Liberia, and they're looking for what they call the millennium MCC thing that is supposed to get over $500 million, right?
You're not getting it.
And this is the kind of case that will make them not to get it, because there's report. They get people in Liberia reporting on these things. If evidence have come from the hospital, they see that these people, we did a testing, they were actually tortured mentally. And there were reports submitted and a court accepted report. So how come now the report that the court accepted to say, oh, it's not enough? Those who, but those are police officer here, anything that you force somebody to lie, that means it'll be automatically.
Yeah, definitely. So long the suspect can prove it that he confessed under duress, that case is can be non-involved.
Yeah, true out. So
yeah, it can be true out.
They could break this government if they continue with this. I don't know the motive behind it, that they're going behind Fernando Kofa and a few others if they're not careful. This is what happened when they see United Party and Benin when they went behind Mr. Cummings. And they saw what happened. When it backfired, they dropped that case like hot cake. I think Fernando, they need to get international people involved in this too as well.
Yeah, listen to me, Paul. You see, what go around, it come down. You see, what go up, it can come down. You see, the fanatic who for them, their administration, the past administration, they are the same people connived with Joseph Barker group to persecute innocent men called Alexander B. Kume. These fanatic who for them, their hand have been in all kinds of nasty, tricky thing. So when you be involved in tricky thing, the tricky thing will come back to haunt you yourself. That's what happening to you now. You understand what I'm saying?
All right, Mr. Dollar. Thank you.
Tricky thing. You see, that day they were sitting down there, they saw it, what was going on, it was wrong, because that was their government, they were in favor of make sure that Kume should not be in a picture of the political disco. So they could now with Joseph Barker people in Banana Euro then to persecute if we were not having international contact to bring renowned lawyer from international world. Mr. Kume could have go to Kipama in your country, fortunately, to go and kindergarten student. That was the intention.
All right, thank you very much, Dollar. Okay, we want to transition to that was the story about the defendants of the arson trial in Monrovia, somewhere around December last year. The capital building of Monrovia in Liberia, so capital in Monrovia, Liberia, was gutted with fire. So few people were arrested, and that included the former Speaker of the House, Jay Fernando Kofa, who is presently on bail. The rest are in jail. There was one female who is now saying nobody had heard. I think there's no story of the female defendant as well. I think that should have some. We need to understand that. Paul, do you know what's the story of the female that was also connected in this case?
Oh, that is this how they call it, some couple woman from District 5.
For some medical reason, I think, I don't know if that's the story.
No, the thing is she's from United Party.
Okay. You know, one thing in Liberia,
they were only using her as one of the people to say, oh, we're not only going behind CDC.
So what's her story? She's being exonerated?
Well,
she's not part of
the other people were sent to jail. She didn't go to jail because she's from United Party. So they came out with all kind of things.
Like on that when Paul is done.
Okay, just 2 minutes, please.
Yeah, 2 minutes. I will do that. That lady,
Priscilla Cooper.
Yeah, she married to this boy here. They call Kalando. Who have
they're not married. They're not married.
There's a fiancé. They're fiancé.
Yeah, so they're not married.
That's traditional marriage. The guy himself said it publicly, only public to me. He said they having their traditional marriage because Kalando have a Islamic connection or whatever, something like that. So he said that's my wife. So Kalando is one of these main financials of supporters of Unity Party. He's a councillor. And the lady also she's a member of the Unity Party. So they were just doing that to cover up the story. The woman never went to jail like what Paul said. She never went to jail. We say medical reason, there's no medical report showing. What kind of sickness he had? Nothing. They say confidential. So obviously we know that's why we said the Liberia judicial system, it got two eyeballs. You can see big man, you can see small man, you can see female, you can see male, whatever. That's the country you and I are coming from. But let me tell the Liberian people this thing here. When ANC take government, when ANC take over, definitely all this nonsense will stop. That's what I can say.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much. We want to transition to another story. No, don't go away. We'll also be the last story tonight. We'll be looking at the fire in the house of the former President George Weah. But before that, we have a story. This is a story that we have here in the newspaper. If you see the paper, the president is up there. That's the President Joseph N. Boakai. And we have at the bottom of the same paper, we got Prince Arthur Eze. He's a Nigerian oil magnate billionaire who in 2010 sold. He bought another offshore oil block from Liberia and he sold it for almost 200 million. And now he's back in Liberia. There was a lot of controversy on that story. He's back in Liberia. He's been recently he signed a contract with the President Boakai signed a PSC production sharing contract with Atlas Oriental, which is owned by Arthur Eze. So there's a more story today. So why we making this story a case? I think the gentleman on the show tonight will tell us why this is a case. Because if you look at him, after the Republic of Liberia oil block for 250 million, President Boakai welcomes Nigerian billionaire Prince Arthur Eze back to Liberia. There was a story like when he went Liberian with all the information. This guy has a lot of oil wells around Africa. He has in Guinea, Gambia, Liberia, and other places. And now he went to Liberia when there was a discovery of oil offshore in Liberia. He found a way. I think according to the story, he spent only $10,000 to get a company registered, I think, to bribe his way into the legislature, and he got a contract. Then he sold this oil. There was a guy at the time, the president of NOCAD, the National Oil Company of Liberia. The president was Christopher Neal at the time, and he sold this other oil to another company for 200 million. I don't understand. And eventually, there was nothing for him there, and now he's back into the country. Well, gentlemen, what do you know of this story? Let's start with Mr. Dolly.
Yeah, Liberia is a very interesting country. This is the man that came before in that country, and that time it was the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration. When this man was running to become senator for Grand Bassa County, the late Tom Wowoyu, he was very vocal on the contract issue. So what the Liberian government did, alleged, that is alleged because there's no evidence to substantiate that actually it was done by the Liberian government, but it's just alleged that Tom Wowoyu sure came off in America and they picking up there and charge him for human rights violations and being part of a warring fashion here and there and rest of it. And that case was dragging. He couldn't find his way through until he died in that process. So the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration, they carry on their all blood issue. And at the end of the day, this man benefited huge amount of money from that thing there. Now he coming back again.
What's the story, Mr. Dolly? The boom of the story. That's all. Yeah, you talk about Poton. What wrong with his involvement in Liberia right now? What happened before? Well, huge money. What did he get? What did he sell? What do you know of?
The one that he bought. I mean, he took from the Liberian government. He sold it to another company. They call this French oil company. They call I think I just forgotten the name of this French company. He sold it to that company 200 million.
Okay.
That's what
Paul,
he did.
thank you. Thank you, very much. Paul, this is Arthur. He's a prince Arthur, a multi-billionaire, and he's oil magnate. Back in Liberia, 2010, he's a name. It's a very controversial story. He had a controversial story attached to his name in Liberia. He bought an oil block from the Liberian government, and he sold that company for 200 million. Now, people believe that. So, according to the story being hearing, it was some kind of fraud thing. I don't know what the story. There was nothing in it. He sold that company, got away through. It was all the way in Liberia. Now he's back. The president signed the contract. Now there was a discovery of oil offshore in Liberia. He signed the contract with the same man. I don't know. We don't know the detail of the story. Probably have some information to share with us. Why is it they're bringing this guy back into the country, Paul?
Let me clarify something Padoli said on Ellen. It actually was during the Judy Bryant time, this guy,
Came to Liberia.
the interim government at the time, they were not legitimate government or just an interim government that sold this particular block to this guy for the
10,000. He
10,000.
bought it. He bought it from Liberian government $10,000,
Yes.
and he sold it for 200 million.
250 million. He walked away. 10,000.
He registered a company in the country, spent 10,000, got
Yes.
away through, and he said, "Look, I want to buy the oil block," and he sold it for 250 million.
50 million. 250 million he sold it for. And when he sold it, it was doing when Ellen was now the sitting president when he did that. Right. So why is this guy that everybody knew about
Yeah,
the
you sold it to Chevron, I think.
he sold a Chevron?
Yeah, Chevron.
What?
Yeah,
This is the guy.
It's a French company.
Yeah.
No, Chevron is an American company, Padoli.
Ah,
Yes, it is an American company.
okay. All
So
right.
when he walked away with $250 million, it was the most talked about story. Why is this guy is back now that President Burka government going to give him 4 all black, 4. The one he sold and walked away, now he's back again. 4 all black they're going to give him. So
But my question is this, Paul. There's all blood have been identified. There's a
there's a new offshore of Liberia now being identified.
remember, they have up to 13 oil blocks, different area. And what happened? There were exploration that took place. Some of them had nothing there, but in recent time, between Liberia and Ivory Coast, and between Liberia and Sierra Leone, the Sierra Leone side, the Ivory Coast side have discovered oil. Get the story. So there is oil now in the Liberian coast. So this is why this guy now, they brought in Total, and they're going to give a block to Total. But this particular guy who milked the Liberian people before, he's now coming back under the very government.
Is this a weakness, Paul? Is it a weakness of our leadership, our stewardship?
It's not weakness, Jamal. You can look at it. They've been alleged that during the campaign time,
He's one of the
Unity Party were broke.
financier.
This guy became one of the financiers of the Unity Party. So this will be a reward. So it has been alleged. That's why they want to reward him for the help he helped them to get it into office.
You know, Paul, I'm going to stop you there. You know, Global Witness, we put there some years back in 2010. If this guy he brought his way $10,000 to get the oil block, and he sold it for $250 million.
Yeah.
Liberia, and you're bringing it back to the country.
And this time around, going to give you 4 oil block instead of
4
1.
oil block offshore Liberia instead of 1. Then the government have already signed the contract with him.
Yes.
Wow.
In what manner? What is the interest of government guard?
That's what we want to know. We don't know. That's what we bring the issue out. We don't know what the government is signing into after he just spent $10,000 to get an oil block, and he resold that for $250 million for Chevron. Oh my goodness.
And what's the benefits the Liberian government have in this case here?
So the question is why bringing somebody back into the country who grabbed his way through a level of corruption. I mean, brought his way through. I mean, those let's consider there was like from the it was a post-war period. There was no legitimate leadership. Then early on in that, you got it on the Judy Bryan, where it's now elected leadership. Okay, let's understand. The system was now there was nothing in order, but now he brought his way through with $10,000. Now you knew that he brought it with then not only leadership, he sold it to another company, 250 million. That was not legally acquired. Then you bring him back to the country to sell another 4 oil blocks to him,
So
making it extra rich.
Yeah,
Gemma, what
but-
does this tell you about the current government? We've been told that President Burka is the most experienced person that has 50-year governmental experience. Remember, under him, he was vice president when the guy duped the country when he sold the oil block. So why is it now going back to the same guy that he knows that?
Yeah,
What we
let me-
also understood that when the oil block you saw, some of them were empty.
go-
Yes.
Yeah, God, let me ask you people this question here, please, because I'm a little bit confused about the issue. Here is the situation. This gentleman came and got and maneuvered his way through and got the contract from our country. And he decided to sell it. He's a businessman. He want a profit. Yeah, we'll do it.
Mr. Dollar.
But
Go on.
one minute, sir. But when he sold that blood for 250 million, did Liberia benefit anything from that?
No, that's not the point now, Mr. Dollar. That's not what we're looking at right now. He got it. He found a way through. Liberian people were greedy. They sold the oil block to him for $10,000. Registered a company, got only 10,000. They sold the block to him. That's why they did 10,000. That's
And
all he
big money
spent.
for them in their art.
10,000.
Yeah.
So he found a way. So he was what we are saying. He was illegally. He did not legitimately acquire. He brought his way through. That's the point. Whatever he said for 500 million, Liberian government will not benefit anything. But the government knew that this could spark controversy in public sector. Even the Global Witness talk about the Prince Actor Exe brought his way, spent $10,000 to get our block, which is sold for 250 million. Now, you inviting that one back, the same person back into the country. I mean, who did not get the asset legally? I mean, this is where the problem is. Why should the government open their arms to receive a signed contract? He's the president of the company called, what's the name of the company again? Atlas Oranto. That's the company that President Barker signed a contract with to take over 4 other offshore oil blocks in our country that will be doing exploration. So he will sell those one. I don't know. He may have given the president this time. He gave it 20,000. Probably we said it to.
There is a saying in Liberia. They say first food is not full, but second food is full. It's somebody who duped your government before.
But I thought they would do what they call for continuing what they do what they call due diligence assessment and make sure put the country out there, companies that will come for it, but they just want to sign up because we're talking about another MCC, Monrovia City Corporation, the garbage collection study in Monrovia, and that has been a bidding going on for months. Or this was not being bidded, so the president just gave it out.
Yeah. So if you see these guys when they're going after somebody, you might have helped them. Because that's the reward of helping. When you help, you get reward.
So he believed that he was a great financier for the Unity Party or
That's
the president
the thing
for the
unless
campaign of the president.
If it had been alleged during the campaign that the president did not have money, the party didn't have money, they had to turn to this guy for funds. And then later on, through his help, they started bringing vehicles and other things into the country. So this is a reward. It have been
But
alleged.
the question is, before you sign this contract, I thought you go to PCC and also maybe go to the legislature to also evaluate. I mean, to assess.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's it.
So,
One
but Jeba, you remember why Fanatic Kofa and all those people were booted out? This is the reason that you consider everything. So the speaker is under his belt. The pro tem is under his belt. So any kind of thing they come away, it will go free. There will be no check and balance in this situation. This is the kangaroo government you have running the thing.
You see, Paul, as I said, these are some of the reasons why some are always saying there should be a slot in our constitution these the Agonians or politicians, they want the people who don't have the capacity to impinge them for them to be prosecuted. When they leave the power, they should still be charged and prosecuted for the whatever wrongdoing they did during the time of their administration. But it's not happening. Because that's the reason why they have the audacities of doing all this kind of nasty game. Because you know at the end, you can't see Mr. Weir right now. You're going from one end to another, riding private plane and then do all kinds of rubbish activities and things there. And he did so many nasty things. And he's going free. Yeah, going free.
Padole,
Yes.
before 1986, there was constitution, right?
Yeah.
Except to one guy that came that disrupted the whole thing and brought in his own constitution. The only way that constitution will be changed, you have another disruptor.
I think we have
Listen,
it's unbelievable.
That's
what happened in Guinea right now? The Guinean junta, they go for the similar nonsense referendum they carry on to make the what they call. But what I'm trying to say, our situation is different from those days. It was a military junta, so.
But that's what I'm saying. Is the military junta that changed the constitution that we working
that's what
with
I'm
today?
saying. I was in the police for that time. It happened in Banga. We were manning the people that were putting that document together, like Sawyer, Keselis, and some other Shion Liberian citizens. They was in Banga carry on that thing, eating hamburger. But the point of the matter is, the instruction came from the president, the military junta, and the people that put that document together, they were on a direct to do it.
So pardon, let me ask you for both on. The thing said that thing said if they leave power, they can be prosecuted.
Yes.
So that the same people who in power, they must call for referendum. That when they leave, they must be prosecuted. You think that's going to happen?
But what I'm trying to say here is this, Mr. Chilope. Those days, it was a military junta.
I agree. So, but I agree. That was those days.
Yeah, this is the civilian government. So this is the sovereign government.
All right, guys.
To change it.
Okay, guys.
But you're not getting the point. Hold on. You're not getting the point. That civilian government, they when they leave, they will not be prosecuted according to the book. You telling me they must call upon their.
You will not have the audacity to do it. I do agree what you say.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But the citizens have a right to petition their lawmaker then to make sure that to have it in the to open a
Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's granted. We'll wait until that happens.
We'll take a quick break and come back to talk about the story.
I don't know.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lord. We'll take a quick break, come back, we'll talk about the fire in the house of the president. Former President George here. Want to know what's the fire? Sorry?
I said the fire to George Weir house.
That will be, I will take a quick break, come back, we'll discuss that. That will be our last show. So, wanting to share the show, this is for Liberia, international news. Tonight we're discussing from Mr. Airlines and also international news around the world. I was going to discuss the issues.
Bring the mark closer, Gemma.
Mr. Yankuba Morris Dollar. Mr. Yankuba Morris Dollar and also Port Elor Chilope. So we'll take a quick break. I'll come back. I'll take you through to Liberia again. Story that making headlines in Liberia. The fire in the house of President George.
Yeah.
Once again, welcome wherever you join us from. Thank you for joining us. When you share the show, I know you join us from Liberia as well. Bella TV, our bottom line, our YouTube channel, Facebook, and wherever you are in Asia, US, Latin America, Africa,
Your
Europe.
voice going, Gemma.
Europe. Thanks for joining us. And we are coming to you live from mainland Europe, and we'll be discussing tonight. What making headlines in Liberia tonight is the story of the former president George Manuel Weir house got a fire. There was some story He came in 2 days. Is one of the residents is 9th Street in Monrovia was got a fire. So there's a story out there. But now, some newspaper report said that were premeditated attack to take Weah's life. That's the one in the caption of the newspaper. And another story says here, this one of the story says, targeted and calculated act. Those are the story. The newspaper screaming loud headlines for the fire that gutted the house. I think in the bedroom, one of the rooms of the president's house on 9th Street in Monrovia. My guys are with me tonight. They have some issue. They have some updated information of what's happening, what is the detail. The fire service were there to extinguish the fire, and after that, there may be some other information coming up. Gentlemen, welcome. Talking about I know this has been one of the biggest news around since yesterday when the president came back. The former president came back to Liberia, President George Weah, and a day later. Now, if house got on fire, what do you know of?
Put the paper up, Jamal.
Yeah, this is another story, a targeted and calculator, Paul, at the bottom as well.
Yeah.
I can put the other one out if you like. Yeah.
Yeah, I think put the other one up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
This is it. And there's some newspaper screaming premeditated attack to take the president's way of life. So, is it a sensational headline or is something to awaken as put in a political context to make sure that giving more popularity to the president, or is this something like the investigation has already made, some people got some information we don't know? What do you know of?
Yeah, you want me to come in? Or?
Yeah, go on, Mr. Dollar.
Look here, you know what happened? Let's try to be sure in this situation here. The premeditated attack they people talking about. What's the element that constitutes the premeditation of this case? The ex-president's house is well qualified, knowing he got a CCTV. He himself been saying it. When he was even president, he said that everybody should have CCTV. So obviously, I don't think he will have that house without having CCTV. When he himself was orchestrating for it, he was campaigning for everybody to have CCTV to their viewer home. So obviously, he's supposed to have CCTV to help the investigator of this case. But what I do saw in the report from the fire service department of the Republic of Liberia is, he said that they were denied from having access to the crime scene, so they can know the actual story, how did the incident take place, and in what means, which are the elements that were used to cause the fire. They say the Joe Weah's surrounding and his people refused to allow them to go in to establish that fact. So, but what I really can't understand is, for me, I would say my political statement in this case here. I think I'm looking at it to be this way. Joe Weah want to drag sympathies like what this old man did in America. Donald Trump got someone a fit guy somewhere to shot to send a shot right close to him and just chip on his ear and here and there rest of it, and people take that, begin to sympathize with him, and he won the election. From that perspective, maybe this could be one of the strategies these guys are putting up. That's my personal statement on this thing here, because the thing, if people want to know the fact about this thing here, first of all, what Joe Weah and what the CDC need to do, open up to the investigator or bring in private investigator, neutral people to probe into the matters to know how the fire took place. And there's one single place within that big compound in the house is the bedroom. The ex-president bedroom. That's the one that caught fire. So who will get to that place to put fire there? So, and the CCTV around. So obviously it could be an industry, or it's a inside a crime that they committed in this thing here. That's how I look at it. Let them look among themselves. Somebody must be there that will started to carry on this kind of mess.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dollar.
Yeah.
Thank you. Paul. There's a story that says like, do you hear me? I'm not audible, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a story that says that if the former president was in the house when the house got a fire, he was calling for help. He called neighbors for help. Some people say he was not at this premise, at the property at the time. He was not on this property when it happened. But this is the former president. I think a couple of times passed by his house to see some friends around there, just one block to his house. And this house is well fortified. It got security officers, and I think it's well covered with digital cameras and stuff that can peek for any angle. So, is this statement? Is it newspaper story? Is it being politicized or something like it could be? It could be a natural cause. It had nothing to do with getting at the former president. Or what do you think? Is because this happens sometimes? A couple of prior incidents happening across the country. The Senator Joseph Sir Joseph Luther. What's the name again? Yeah, was Luther Tapper, now the chairperson of the Unity Party, and we also have Fokpa. House was also gutted. Other people's house being gutted. So we all being aligned, all connecting to political, has political connections with somebody after somebody. With this former president who came in 2 days into the country and will have to receive that very massive welcome. And then 2 days later, he has got a fire. Tell me, what do you know of this story, and what do you think? What is twist you get? Is this turning into a political debate, or is something like that? People are making something like, well, there's somebody after the killing.
So the story here will start with this newspaper headline. It's very sensational as well because it was CDC that claimed that they want to the government is after we are life. That's CDC claim. But how can you put out something that hasn't been investigated, how the fire started, for you to come up with a conclusion? So the whole
the same decision, from a back day.
yeah. So the thing is, there are a lot of houses in Liberia, and even hospitals have been burned. Buchanan, we know about the hospital in Buchanan, other places. People home have been burned down to ashes. So would that mean that the government gone behind those people? So the story, the fire incident have not been investigated. So how come now we know that it's all
Government.
yeah. How it's almost like the Capitol building situation that the building was on flame when the president got there and said that somebody it seemed nothing like this. It haven't been investigated. So how come now they're trying to attack we are that this is just so that Sir Joseph also made a claim when Hall got burned. He said that CDC people wanted to kill him.
CDC people wanted to kill him.
So this is the situation. It haven't been investigated, but they already pointing finger.
Yeah. But Paul, what tells me about the whole issue about the former president we expect to be well secure in terms of security, safety, health and safety. Now, house.
Jamal,
yes.
We know that. Remember, this is the 9th Street resident that it broke down.
And rebuilt.
To fortify, even they get a boat that will take you to the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, because the house is just next to the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah. Well fortified. And in his bedroom, that's where the fire started from. So the question, if I can start from anywhere, the executive mansion that is, remember before the war, there are so many coup attempts. Nothing happened to that building, but anyone in office one time fire broke in the building.
No, but we all knew what happened, Paul. Investigation was carried out. No, it was clear. What will happen was, let me explain. I think I followed that story very well. It was Maurice Duclé at the time. I think Minister of still with our portfolio. He was I think the time Maurice Duclé. What happened was
He
after
was a presidency affair.
okay, a personal affair. At the time after the renovation of the mansion, I think one of the state African presidents was visiting. They were early when there.
The president.
Okay, they went to a visit and they were there to dedicate this building. So right there, they would put a light on. They switch on the electricity. It spark off. That what happened. It caught fire. That was everybody knew that, and we knew that was investigated. And the authority investigated. We knew that the cost. We all knew the cost.
Yes.
But what happened with these other fire incidents around the country? I mean, top ranking officials.
Jamal,
Yes.
in the president house, he get people 7 that live with him, right? So let's take the executive mansion incident. Maybe somebody have gone in a place to clean up because the president come in and switch the light off. It could spark.
Or somebody was smoking somewhere, just dropped somewhere.
No, not smoking. But let's look at what happened in the executive mansion.
Yeah. Switch on the light.
Switch on the light.
And a spark of fire.
A spark of fire. It's something that's common. So investigation haven't gone on yet, but they already seen that it could be
But Paul, listen now. George Weah lived abroad for so many years. And we talk about prevention, fire prevention, all those security should be in place. Why it's not very common around Europe in the West? You see this thing happening. Fire got into house, got into fire. I mean, you see businesses happening because of some other reasons. You know that, but homes to get into fire. It could be like gas, something exploding, stuff happening. But a president house, a bedroom got a fire. Paul, that raised a lot of concern. What will happen? This is a very serious concern because the president bedroom.
It
was a same bedroom, sorry, boss. It was a same bedroom that was broke in, and television set was stolen. I think. Yeah, personal items were taken in that very house. So we talk about security. What it was that his bedroom in that very room. Is that a non-street property as well?
It's a non-street property.
We're in there, and things were stolen from in that bedroom. And no, we are not saying that Union Party were essential criminal or rogues to go in there and break in there. But now they are saying because of fire, Union Party want to kill him. They calculated, premeditated, and calculated.
That's what I'm saying.
But the thing is,
oh my God.
You live in the West. House you live in is well. We get all the fire alarm, everything that will tell others.
The first and foremost, anytime the fire is overloaded, the breaker goes off, it trick off. So it stop fire. That's the first prevention. Yeah. There are other extinguishers within the house. So the person, before you even call the fire service coming, you should have a fire extinguishers, different kinds within your vicinity, within your proximity, so you can able to extinguish fire before it comes in. Those are procedures. So the security officer, the staff should be having fire marshal drill. So they also understand what incidents happen.
You gone to Weston.
Yeah, but the thing is, if the president's house is getting fire, then you blaming somebody for haunting you, your bedroom. So how did they infiltrate into the bedroom and put fire in there?
This is the point I'm making before you start pointing finger. Allow investigation to go on. But fire, you already concluded that they after a president to kill him.
Yeah, while we're beating around the bush on this case here, one thing is clear cut. The gentleman wants sympathy. He happy. Listen, the gentleman wants sympathy. He wants for people to sympathize with him. They say, hey, they want to kill the poor man for nothing. Hey, that's all he's looking for. Because if you look at the integration of the entire issue, the surrounding of the entire issue, you will know that
So Joe, we are planning this himself, you're thinking?
I believe that the fireman caught in his hand mistakenly.
Oh, he planned it. You want to win sympathy. So you plan this attack on yourself.
He's trying to shape the blame on the government so people can have sympathy with him. He might be based on your own negligence in the house because the thing happened right in his bedroom. So
and he refused the fire service to go in for investigation.
Yeah. And he refused the fire service investigator to go inside. They got it in there.
So Jamal, this story here is two ways. Some of the witnesses said the president came and asked them to help to.
Yeah, he was shouting. That's what he said. He was shouting for help.
Then other people said, "Oh,
he was not even there.
He was not even there." So the conflicting story that going about. So if the president was there helping people to put the fire off, then the thing is, what sparked the fire? It could be something. Whether they're smoking marijuana and they managed to drop something, cigarette, something.
You know what puzzled me, Paul, while going on is people that write these news stories. Paul, they will not fact check. I don't want to say anything that you put a sensationalized story. Don't put a premeditated attack to take Weah's life.
Yeah.
What you want to sell story, man? Come on.
Yeah.
The investigation has now gone. Nothing has happened. You have no proof, nothing. Then you went ahead and wrote a story like this.
Yeah.
And what you expect to tell us? What credible newspaper, would that give you credibility?
No, it's uncredible.
You have not even done anything yet. You say you premeditated. Then you should have asked the questions. All those safety was in place at the president's property. It's not in place. So what you call premeditated attack? Somebody sneaking penetrators, sneak into the president's house and profile in his bedroom. So where were the security? Where were the security?
So this thing we can all have our view on it. If the president came out to ask people to help him put the fire off,
he has an idea what happened.
He should have an idea what happened. So the first point of contact for investigation would be himself.
He's an interest in the case.
Yeah.
So
his bedroom, it's not like it's outside that somebody can throw something in there.
It's not that possible.
It's not possible.
It's not possible. You can launch. Probably, Paul, if we could see it was an attack, it was a grenade or something sent from above, hit the house. Then you say, well, you were attacked from top.
Exactly, but not that case. So remember too, the former president and his group, maybe they were just having a late Jama. They forgot something.
Spark off.
A spark off. It could be. So that man should be brought to the fire service for investigation.
He's a person of interest.
Getting a reputation of the government.
So, but what I think the traditions are doing right now, they're sweeping the whole thing on a carpet, shifting blame, think the president is being attacked, this has been there, so the investigation will go the other way, so they won't investigate him. But he's a person of interest. I think the fire service needs to ask him, probably his property, he doesn't want to go into, but with all that, he still needs to give some statement.
Yeah, he needs to give some statement.
What was his location in the house when the fire went off? Before he ran out to get people to help him, what was he doing?
I mean, we should be. This is smart. Librarian should not make the thing something out of this. It doesn't make sense because the whole idea.
That's your country. That's your country. You and I coming from. You make issue all or nothing.
All right, guys. Now, guys, I want to say once again, thank you very much for being with you tonight. This is Brian Liberia. Jamal Kamara is my name, with Paul DeLaw in London, Mr. Morris Jankuba Dole in Manchester as well. We'll bring you some newspaper review for Liberia and also highlights from international desk. I'll be discussing what's happening with the Prince Arthur Eze, a multi-billionaire oil magnate who bought away into Liberia $10,000. Sold another oil block from Liberia for $250 million. He's back into the country to take on some project. Also looking at the evidence brought in the court for torture evidence against the government, the police for extracting confessions out of the arson defendants is being denied. And also we're looking at the issue of the former President George Weah House got to fire. But newspaper report said it's premeditated attack to take George Weah's life. So tonight we'll be with you tomorrow, Friday again, here at the same place, same time, to discuss other issues that make news around us. But in the meantime, I'll ask my colleague what they take tonight before we take leave of you. What's your take on tonight, guys? Paul?
Yeah, I think it was a fantastic show tonight with the information regarding President Ruto of Kenya asking United Nations that Africa should have 2 permanent seats at the Security Council. I think that should be welcome, and no African leaders now should also rally around to see how they can advocate for being, because it's just bad that Africa don't have a seat on the table. So, and with the issue of the oil block being sold to another, the same guy who sold the oil block, I think this government is some. They said there will be no smoke without fire. So something behind that story. Why would this guy who he gave one oil block to sold it for $250 million after he purchased for 10,000? Now he gave him 4 oil blocks. It does not make sense. So, and with President Weah house, a room being on fire, I think President Weah should be called in. It's a person of interest. Where were he? Which part of the house he was before the house caught fire? This, the neighbor said he came out to ask them for help. And some people saying he was not there. So there's conflicting information that's coming out. So we should be called and they asked where were he and what part of the house he were when this fire broke out. In his bedroom. What were he doing? We just want to know. He's our ex-president. We want to know his well-being. What was he doing at the time? Were they have candle on in the room? We just want to know what caused the fire.
Okay.
So tonight show was a good show. So our followers, thanks for being with us. We'll be back here tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you very much. It was a very nice discussion tonight. Only two things that drew my attention to. One was the sentence of the former president of France. I'm really, really impressed to hear that news. That old man is a tricky human being, very, very slippery. He's a liar, chronic liar. So, and the French people really need to make that man. He's supposed to be beyond back, to be honest, because he does something that someone not supposed to do. So I'm so impressed to hear that story. The second one is the George Weah's fire issue here is, if I am to be sent asked to go into this issue further out, we could invite Mr. George Weah, Mr. Weah, to come over to tell us why he refused to allow the fire service personnel to have access to the crime scene. When he came outside or when he called a neighbor to help him to call the fire up. So those are responsible to investigate what is the cause of the fire, and he denying them from having access to it. What is the motive behind it? So you could be asked that question. But Liberia is a Liberia. That's the place. My view, my personal view on his matter is he's trying to drag the Liberian people intention to have sympathy with him, like what happened to Daniel Troy in America. Thank you. Lovely now, Mr. Jimmy. Thank you very much for allowing me to be here, and I will be available tomorrow as well on a appropriate time. Thank you. Have a lovely night.
Thank you very much. That was Mr. Yankuba Morris Dole, and Paul, before was Paul Delord to place, telling us what they take from tonight's show. We want to say a big thank you to all those who joined us from the Bottom Liberia YouTube link, as well as the Facebook, and also Jala TV Liberia across the globe. We say thank you very much. We'll be here tomorrow, same time, same platform. We'll be discussing what is permanent to Liberia. We'll be discussing issues that are making news in Liberia as well. We'll bring you some highlight for international words. Paul from Paul's Play Desk. I think colleagues tomorrow also believe that our post will be taking leave of work for at least a couple of days from now. So Paul will be a last report tomorrow. After that, we'll see Paul for a couple of weeks back. But in the meantime, we'll be around. Mr. Dollar, myself, and Linford and Francis, who is on his way now to the US, will be here to take on the show. I want to say a big thank you to all those who've been with us from the start of the show and always been with us. A special heart of a big thank you to Shadela Brown. Thank you very much for being there for us all the time, and all others people that Alan Gue. Thank you. And also tonight we also have Comfort Kamara and many others who joined tonight. Please make sure you subscribe to this show, and also once we are back, we will make sure you'll be alerted. I mean, let's all know your comment. What do you think? What can we do to improve this show? We want you to subscribe, send across to other people as well. Save it, send it, and then you think what we discuss is something you want for us to discuss. Drop it in our comment section. We'll discuss Liberia on the international scene as well. Once a big thank you from me to all of you there. Have a pleasant evening. Good night from the Voice Liberia. My name is Juma Kamara, and good night from here, from Manchester.